Well, here we are. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that there's no garbleness during this video. It should be okay. The last few videos have been okay. And if you have not watched my previous recaps, please go back and do so. Before season 6, or the end of 5, should I say, nobody was garbled prior to that. So go back. I've done all 6 seasons so far. Please go back and check all those out. I worked really hard on those, and very few of those episodes are getting watched. It's every single Friday. It's Star Trek Next Generation Recap Friday. And also If Then. I'm up to 37 or 38. It plays later this afternoon. We just did Halloween, Thanksgiving, we're getting into Christmas, gonna do Regency Christmas, and, Contemporary Romance Christmas, and a whole bunch of Christmas. Also, if you are a sci-fi fan, last weekend, please go check these out. Last week, Star Trek, not Fistful of Datas. Forget what it was. Ship in a Bottle. Ship in the Bottle was the last one I did, last week's episode. The first 10 minutes of that, and then Saturday's episode and Sunday's episode following, I'm looking for some old sci-fi books. For specific authors that I have not come across yet. And someone is giving to me slowly. And they've given me 2 boxes so far. And I go through the 2 boxes. I start a little bit on the Star Trek Next Generation recap. I do a few there. Then check out Saturday's episode of sci-fi and fantasy books you've never heard of. And then Sunday's sci-fi and fantasy books you've never heard of, part 2. There's one book from the 1950s. I didn't know that, but you will see Sunday's episode. David Drake, you know him. He's still common today. These are all books from the 80s, 90s. There may even be a 71. I'm not sure, but I know this is the 51. So please go check those all out. They're attic finds. I'm still hoping for my authors to come across, but that's my goal. This person keeps giving me these old books, and I'm hoping to come across some of my authors. I want to do a sci-fi one, and I've got together a list, but I just needed a few more before I do my top 10 sci-fi. And I'm trying, if anybody knows, please respond. I'm looking for sci-fi space travel, specifically space travel, like Star Trek, space travel. And it's been hard, but I've got some authors. I know some authors that I'm going to go through for a sci-fi If Then. So I've been trying to gather those for almost a year now. But now that I've got this new source, it may prove fruitful. So, we are on. Don't forget to watch the If Then later this afternoon. Please don't forget to check out Flashback Mondays and my daily book reviews. I do a video every single day. 2 every day and 3 on Friday. Monday is Flashback Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is a book review and a short. And then Friday is Star Trek Next Generation recap, and If Then, and a short. And then Saturday and Sunday, book review and a short. And occasionally we drag the whole husband out for a live. And I've got a book that I wanted to do with him, and we haven't gotten a chance to do it yet. So anyways, we are on Star Trek Next Generation, Season 6. This is Disc 4. This is our first time on Disc 4. And we have Aquiel, Face of the Enemy, Tapestry, and Birthright Part 1. So let's get started, shall we? I wish I could run these. If I had a larger following, maybe we could do a live, everybody watch their own TV or video and we talk about it at the same time. I've seen other channels do live chats, but you can't show it. There's too much copyright infringement. But we could talk about it. Everybody could sit down and watch it at the same time. Other channels have done that. I've seen it. But this is just my little recap, my little opinions. If you watch some earlier episodes, season 4 or 5, I ask questions. No one has ever answered my questions. So we'll see what happens. But so here we are, season 6, disc 4, episode 239. We start off with a captain's voiceover. Stardate 46461.3. We have arrived at communication relay station near the Klingon border. We are scheduled to deliver supplies, however, the station has not responded to hails. What is up with that? I need. So, Geordi, Worf, Riker, and Crusher have beamed onto the station. What's that noise? Beverly asked. They must have left an audio monitoring system on. We're hearing a few thousand subspace messages. I'll try and shut it off. And then he turns it off. Riker says, Geordi, what's that? I don't know. Sounds like a loose panel or something. I think it's coming from this service duct over here. He opens it up. Here's your loose panel. And they find a dog in there. Let's look. So, they find a dog. I find a cat on my knee. uh, Pooch, hey Pooch, come out here. Come on, come out here. Hey Pooch, what are you doing in there? Worf, Commander, the shuttlecraft is gone. There's no one aboard. Commander? What is it? Cellular residue. I believe these are remains of one of our lieutenants. Let's see. Those are the remains of one of the people from the station. All of the blood traces they found match those of Lieutenant Aquiel Unary. Aquiel I'll assume those are her remains, but I'll need to take this deck plate back to sickbay to be sure. It would be a powerful weapon to do that. I'll have a better idea once I've analyzed the deck plate. If that's UHNARI, where is ROCHA? The station shuttle's gone. Maybe he took it. Before UHNARI died or after? We're ready, Commander. Worf is cutting out the deck plate for her to take back to the Enterprise. So then Riker and Geordi are investigating. Did you have any luck downloading the station logs? Not yet. I can't get past these security lockouts, and I think I know why. All encrypted sub-based messages are sent through this channel. Look at this signal notation. It's out of sequence. Looks like somebody tried to bypass the access protocol, break into the coded messages. It caused the security lockouts to freeze right up. Are there any messages missing? I won't know until I get into the files, Geordi says. Looks like you've made a friend. Yeah, we're going to go back to the ship. Let me know as soon as you have something. I'm going to try to access the logs from another console. And the dog follows him around. So then Jordy goes into her quarters and starts trying to work on her screen here. And the dog follows him. What is it, pup? What's the matter? Something over here? He sees something curved. Uh, and he finds a bone and he gives the dog to the bone. And he pulls up the logs. So Jordy examines this fancy schmancy collar, and then he's talking to the computer voice overview. Um, uh, Station log start date 46458.3. Today we configured the relay controller grid. It was the last primary system we had to overhaul. We are scheduled to recalibrate and align the antenna systems in the next 3 days. Computer access visual output, Jordy says. Let's see if we get a visual. Well, nothing yet. Um, uh, Sent in my third request for a message delay buffer. Until it arrives, Lieutenant Roke and I have rigged a memory module to compensate. It better work or about 500,000 subspace messages are going to end up drifting through space. Computer open UHNARI correspondence file. Computer access correspondence files. Lieutenant Aquiel Unari. Hello, Shanna. I'm sorry I haven't talked to you in a while, but I've been dealing with a new Lieutenant Rocher. So far, he's been rude, arrogant, and condescending, and he's only been here 2 days. This might be a long year. Come on, Lieutenant, stick with me. I had the dream again. Mother's calling out my name. Somewhere in the house. I get to the top of the hill, all right. But then the house is slanted. I'm walking uphill. I can't find her. Doors everywhere, and they all look the same. So then we are in sick bay. The cellular residue is completely fused to the metal of the deck plate. We are trying to get a micro-vaporize the metal in order to get a clear DNA sample. Do you have any idea who killed him? Well, this is just a guess, but from the molecule deposition on the plating, I'd say it was a high-level phaser blast. Could it have been a Klingon disruptor, Riker asks. Possibly, Crusher says. Riker says Geordi found evidence that the encrypted messages have been tampered with and we are close to Klingon space. Picard says there hasn't been a Klingon raid against the Federation for more than 7 years. We can't risk a diplomatic incident until we have more evidence. Beverly says, and there's still the question of what happened to Lieutenant Rocha. Get Rocha's personnel file from Starfleet Command and ask Starbase 212 to help us find that shuttle. Aye, sir. And he says to Dr. Crusher, keep me apprised. So Geordi finally gets an image. Hello, Shina. By the time you get this, Bat Trail will be over. This is the first time I haven't been there. I've been wondering who's singing the horror in my place. And then she sings a song. I had the dream again, the one where mother is screaming. I climbed the hill to our house, but I can't get to hear her, Shana. This time I ran away. I was so scared I ran back down the hill. I don't know why I've been having dreams about danger. It's because of what's been happening with Klingon. He's getting more aggressive all the time, not just the usual threat. Geordi replays it again. It's because of what's been happening with that Klingon. He's getting more aggressive all the time. Not just the usual threat. Morag actually locked his disruptors to the station this time. I don't think there'll be any trouble. It just brings up those feelings of panic, of wanting to run. Wanting to run away from danger, Shanna. I couldn't say this to anyone but you, but the panic, it's the same thing I used to feel whenever Father got angry. When I knew he was going to punish me. Only now I'm out here in space and there's nowhere to run. So then Geordi is filling in Captain Picard. There are 3 references to Commander Morag, a Klingon officer who patrols this section of the border. Apparently he would pass the station every few days and harass them. Perhaps this Morag was the one who interested in obtaining the encrypted messages. Couldn't say Could be, she didn't say. But I do have several more days of logs to watch. I'm hoping to learn more. Very well. In the meantime, I'll speak with the Klingon governor about Commander Moray. So then Picard is talking to Torak. Are you saying we attacked your outpost? I'm merely saying that I'm following up on evidence that my officers discovered on board. Evidence, so you are making an accusation. The Klingon Empire will not stand for these kind of lies. Governor Turek, I apologize. I see that you honestly didn't know what happened aboard the station. I will just have to take this matter up with Garon. I'm really sorry to have bothered you. Garon won't bother with such a minor incident. Well, ordinarily we wouldn't, but of course I was his arbitrator of succession. I'm sure he will be happy to come here and investigate this matter. You needn't worry about it any longer. Garan will come here. Oh, yes. Once again, thank you for your help. Oh, I will be sure to mention your name to Garan when I speak to him. I will investigate this matter further, Picard. You need not bother Garan with this matter. That's very kind of you. Quapla, quapla, and they end their little discussion. So then Geordie's back on the station again. Oh, please let my audio be okay. Um, Computer access the personal logs of Aquiel Unari. Logs access. Begin playback. Shiny, you always said I look great with a wig, so here it is. What do you think? Definitely not you. Okay, maybe I'm a little crazy. You would be too if you were stuck on this relay station in the middle of nowhere with no one for company except an egomaniac with like Keith Roca. I took a big risk today. I countermanded an order he gave. I agreed to handle the traffic for Relay Station 194 while they shut down for maintenance. Roku said we couldn't handle the additional signal load, but I think he's wrong. When he finds out, he'll be furious. It stays like this. I wish I was home. You know what I miss most? Muskin seed punch. Real muskin seed punch. You can get it from the replicator, but it's not the same. I'd give anything for some of punch mother used to make with chunks of seeds in it. Keith, is that you, Keith? Worf tells Riker that they found Klingon DNA aboard the station. So then Riker catches up with Geordi. How could she read this stuff? How's it going? I've managed to access all of Lieutenant Yunara's logs. I'm still looking for Lieutenant Rokas. However, whatever happened to the encrypted messages had a cascade effect on the whole storage system. I can't find his files anywhere. I'm running a level 3 diagnostic now. Maybe Roka didn't make the final logs. Yuri could have been responsible for them. I don't think so. Ukrel was the junior officer here. Ukrel? Lieutenant Yunari, I've been up all night watching her personal logs. I guess I'm starting to feel like I know her. What's she like? Well, she was Hahlian. She had one sister named Shanna. She drunk muskin seed punch. She had a quirky sense of humor. She liked to sing, and she had questionable taste in literature. Enterprise to Riker. Riker here. The Klingon ship Q-VAT has arrived with Governor Torak. Please report to the observation lounge. We're on our way. Oh, good God. Um, so Governor Torak comes, Picard, welcome aboard. Do not bore me with the human pleasantries. I told you we did not kill the woman. Now I will prove it to you. And, he brings in a person with him. Let's see. So the four of them is sitting there. Worf is at the other side. And he brings her in the room. Um, She says, we were running a level 2 diagnostic of the message buffer, she says. Nothing special. Rosha had been on edge all morning, but he'd been irritable ever since he got there, so I didn't think anything of it. We were halfway through the procedure when suddenly he attacked me. He grabbed me, threw me against a bulkhead. I yelled at him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. He took me by the throat. I broke free and tried to get the weapon locker. I'm not sure what happened next, but somehow I got aboard the shuttle and left. We found her on our side of the border heading toward sector 2520. She's lucky my patrol ship did not destroy her vessel on sight. I'm trying to get a group shot and it's not working. Oh, please let my audio be okay. So Picard says, why didn't you contact Stuffy? Let them know what happened aboard the station. I don't know, sir. Maybe I passed out. I'm not even sure how long I was in the shuttle before the Klingon picked me up. Geordie says, 46 hours. You've been gone 46 hours. We presumed you were dead. Your bloodstains were found at the murder scene. I must have cut my head when he pushed me against the bulkhead. Then the remains we found must be those of Lieutenant Roca. I can't confirm that until we're able to get the cellular residue from the deck plate, Beverly says. I won't be able to get a clear DNA scan. Riker said, you said you were trying to get the weapons locker. Is that possibility that you did? No, I didn't. You sure? Riker says. I don't remember exactly what happened to me after I was attacked. I'm sorry. It's as if all my memories were drained out of me. Your log said that Commander Morag had been harassing you. Did you let him or any Klingons aboard the station? Absolutely not, she says. Worf says if that's true, then Morag or some Klingons must have boarded the station after you left. We found traces of Klingon DNA on the station. You will try to blame us, Torek says. Have the courage to admit your mistakes, or are you low BVOS? At least I do not wear the uniform of a Batak, he says back. So then Picard gets in on it. Governor, we are merely exploring all possibilities. Lieutenant Urinara's log reported that Commander Morag had been harassing the station. He was doing his job, Torek says. If he was only doing his job, then I'm sure you won't mind if we spoke with him. Very well. If, in the interest of diplomacy, I will allow you to speak to Morag, but my patient has limits. And he leaves. Lieutenant, I know a friend of yours who's very eager to see you. Who? So he takes her back to his quarters to see the dog. Mora, come here, girl. Come here, Mora. Mora, that's her name. Yeah, it's from Cold Moon Over Blackwater. Have you read it? I'm not much for gothic fiction. Not many people are nowadays. Oh, your shoe. It looks like it's been chewed. Yeah, Mora got a little restless. Mora, shame on you. That's not like you. What a naughty dog. It's all right. Don't worry. At least she's chewing them up in pairs. I'll arrange quarters for you. I'm sure you want some time alone. Actually, I've been stuck on that station for over 9 months. I wouldn't mind going someplace with activity. I know just the place. So then we are in 10 forward. Here you are. Thank you. You're welcome. Have you tried the muskin seed punch? Yeah, it made me sick. You have to be raised on it. It's very nutritious. The taste grows on you. Batanala, you speak Hellenian. We traveled around quite a bit when I was growing up. I picked up a couple of languages along the way. We never traveled. My family lived in the same house for 5 generations. The one on the hill. How do you know about that? Well, to be honest, when we thought you were dead, I needed to review your logs and your personal correspondence for any clues of what happened. All of it? Most of it, yeah. You need to understand that we thought you'd been murdered. I needed information. I'm sorry. It's just that half the things I tell my sister I wouldn't tell anybody else. I guess I feel a little exposed. I feel the same way, especially if you've seen that wig. It wasn't you. I'm curious. Now that you've met me, and am I what you expected? Actually, I'm not sure. The woman I saw in those logs is very complicated. I think there's more to you than meets the eye, Lieutenant. In what way? She says. Well, your relationship with Lieutenant Rogue, for example. He was only there 5 days, and yet there was evidence of plenty friction. You seemed to delight in doing things you knew would upset him. Why take on extra com traffic when you knew he was going to make him angry? It was a personal question or a part of the murder investigation. I don't know, maybe both. Keith Rocha was obnoxious from the minute he reported to duty. He treated me as though I was beneath contempt. I felt like I had to battle him to hold my own. I didn't want to see him dead. How do you know he attacked you? I don't know. Somebody wants attention today. She's been picking at me the whole video. So I picked her up. But she doesn't like being on camera. Smokey. 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 Smoke. 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 Smokey. Smoke. What's the matter, Smoke? What's the matter? I know. Mommy's doing her video and she's not paying attention to you. What's up? There's always time for Smokey. Sorry. Where was I? Roche's file is spotless. 2 decorations for valid, 3 outstanding evaluations from his previous commander. Doesn't sound like the same man from Lieutenant Yanara's described. What did you find out about Yanari? I checked into her record too. Her last posting on Deborah 5. I spoke to her commanding officer. He said she was argumentative, quick to take offense. He also told me that he transferred her to the relay station because she was hampering their efforts. To be honest, I'm having trouble believing her story, sir. Why? I sent Worf to check the weapons locker on the relay station. There's a phaser missing. You think she lied? Lied, conveniently forgot, I'm not sure. I think it's something we have to consider. As of now, we don't have sufficient information one way or the other. I want you to examine her shuttle. You might find something there that will shed light on her story. Aye, sir. And he leaves. So then Journey and Aquiel are having a conversation. How much longer do you think the investigation will take, she asked. 3, maybe 4 days. It's tough to tell. I know I'm a suspect in the murder, but let me ask you something. You've watched my logs. You know me better than anyone here. Do I seem like the kind of person who would murder someone? No, you don't. I don't think I realized how much I needed to hear that. Look, Garel, it's been a rough couple days. I think you need some sleep. You call me complicated. You're right. I don't make friends easily. Um, and then he leaves her inner quarters, and then Worf is in the shuttlecraft, and he finds a phaser, and it is set to kill. So then, Riker, Worf, and Geordi go to question her. We found this Type 2 phaser in your shuttlecraft. It was taken from the weapons locker on the station. I told you I don't remember what happened. Maybe I did make it to the weapons locker. It was set to level 10. Standard procedure requires that all phasers are set on level 1 when they're in storage. Worf, that means that someone deliberately changed your setting, and then there's the matter of your conflict with Lieutenant Roca. Roca and I had our disagreements, but that doesn't mean I would kill him. Have you been able to remember anything that happened after he attacked you? No, nothing. I suppose maybe in self-defense. Dr. Crusher tells me that in order to inflict the kind of molecular damage found in Roca's remains, it would take a sustained phaser discharge of 30 to 40 seconds. That doesn't sound like self-defense to me. Now Geordi gets involved. Now wait a minute. We haven't even established this phaser as the murder weapon yet. Even at level 10, I don't see how it could have done the medical damage it says it did. A phase disruptor like a Klingon, maybe. Look, we're not here to make accusations. We're trying to find out what happened. Commander Morag is due in 2 hours. Let's see what he has to say. Fine. In the meantime, I'd like to go back to the station and see if I can access Roca's personal logs. Good idea, Riker says. Riker goes and speaks to Geordi. This is off the record. I'm saying this as a friend, not your superior officer. I think it would be best if you weren't so personally involved with Aquiel right now. There's a lot about her we don't know. And there's a lot about her that I do know, and if she's innocent, I want to help prove it. I think you've let your personal feelings cloud your judgment. I'm not the one making judgments, he says, and walks away. So then Jordy is reviewing the logs, and he finds that some of the logs have been deleted. So, this is the first time we see Deanna. We haven't seen her the whole episode. But so they're in this big conference room, and there's no group shot. So I'm trying to do it this way. Or maybe there is, and I just haven't found it yet. I'm flawed. I'm human. So we have Data, who I think this is the first time we've seen him too. So Data, Troy, Picard, Worf, and Riker are talking to the two Klingon guys. So those are the two Klingon guys. Captain's log supplemental. Cuvat has arrived with Commander Morag. We're preparing to question him regarding the involvement of the murder of Lieutenant Rocha. I killed no one. We found your DNA on the bulkheads and the console. We know you were there, Riker says. Chalker says, answer the questions. Yes, I was there. My patrol route takes me near the station every 6 days. 3 days ago, as I hailed them, there was no response. I was concerned. Concerned. Yes, I went aboard to see what happened. There was no one there, so I left. Is that all? That's all. Commander Morag, we have discovered that encrypted message bank on the station has been tampered with. Our analysis indicates that 27 priority Starfleet messages are missing. Morag says, what of it? Your DNA was also found on the message control module. This is outrageous. We will not tolerate these ridiculous accusations. This is a diplomatic, Madam Morag. Do not make me search your ship. Yes, I did take the messages. Did you kill Lieutenant Rocha? No, I killed no one. There was no one there. I took the codes, but I killed no one. Governor, we would like Commander Morag to remain on board the Enterprise until this investigation is complete. Torek says, take him. I was like, okay. All right. Now she's trying to get up close and personal with Geordi. She's making a pass at him. Last night, after I dropped you off at your quarters, you established a subspace link with this console. You deleted some of Rocha's personal files, didn't you? Yes, I did. Why? I found a letter Rocha was planning to send your Starfleet commander about me. The letter said I became belligerent and insubordinate. He was going to ask for a formal hearing, Geordi. I know how this looks. Yeah, it looks bad. I find out that you've erased a letter that contained a possible motivation for murder. I didn't kill him. Then explain this. I was afraid if they found the letter, they'd blame me for the murder. I'm not a model officer. I realize that. But sometimes I act impulsive instead of thinking things through. Aquiel, this really complicates things. She starts packing. What are you doing? Getting out of here. Aquiel, running away isn't going to prove your innocence. Facing the situation well. I'm scared, Geordi. Look, we'll get through this. I promise you, okay? Then you believe me? Yes, I do. And he kisses her. Oh, good grief. Really, Geordi? So then we're in sickbay. All right, initiate the Renaissance frequency burst. I'm starting to get a stable DNA scan. This is odd. The nucleotide sequence are starting to fluctuate. The DNA is becoming mobile. Let's try another frequency burst, but increase the renaissance by 20%. The orange glop becomes a hand. And then they go back to Ariel's quarters. Then her and Geordi do this meditation thing. And I think my audio has gone. Fingers crossed it's still here. Oh, I'm getting frustrated trying to find that view again. But so that it's a changeling. It's almost a changeling. They talk about it, and this thing is called a coalescence. And they discover that this thing killed Rosha to be its thing, and now it's gonna kill Geordi to be its thing. They're rare microscopic life forms that need to absorb other organisms and to survive. Now that itself isn't so usual, but the coalescents become the organisms they absorb right down to the molecular level. Do you think this is what happened with your hand? There have been reports that these organisms can exist on a larger scale. Certainly, what happened to my hand seems to be the theory. So you think that Rocha was killed by one of these organisms? It's possible that something happened to him before he reported for duty on the relay station. I don't understand. I've checked the records. Before he was posted to the relay system, Rocha served on outpost trying to assist him. That is a remote sector. Maybe he was absorbed by a coalescent during the mission. So what boarded the station could have been an organism that looked and acted like Rocha. How often do they change bodies? The microorganisms have a cycle of no more than 5 to 10 seconds. They can only assume a larger, more complex section would have during a couple days, even weeks. So if you're saying it's true that Rocha attacked Lieutenant R to find a new body, that means Yara is the coalescent. There was no one other means upon the station. Morag says he was the one who was absorbed. Locate Commander Morag and Lieutenant Unora. Commander Urag is in his quarters. Lieutenant Urag is not aboard the Enterprise. Where'd she go? Lieutenant Urag transported to Relay Station 47 at 47:18:30 hours. You get Morag. I'm going to the station. Aye, sir. So she's getting Geordi to do the ritual with her, which reminds me of the guy that tried to do the ritual with Troy not too long ago, where she aged really, really old. This reminds me of a similar situation. Riker comes to break it up. So now they're in her quarters. Officer's medical log supplemental. Commander Morrigan and Lieutenant Unari are being kept under close observation. So far, no sign of coalescent behavior have surfaced. Aquiel and Morag will be transferred to a secure medical facility at Starbase 12. Maybe we'll know more by the time we get there. Yeah, right. It could be Morag. We don't know for sure. Sure. Get some rest. We've had a couple of rough days. Thanks. Could it be the dog? So he plays with the dog. And the dog turns into orange gloop. Geordi scrambles across the room and sets a phaser. He draws and he fires, and the gloop is destroyed. There's the gloop. So then Geordi is enjoying some time with Yura. Maybe the reason you don't remember anything is that happened after Roker attacked you is that the coalescent process had begun. Remember, you said you felt like the memories had been drained right out of you? That's probably exactly what was going on. Then maybe I did take the phaser. Whatever happened, at least you got away before the process took hold. So he turned on more. Right, well, what now? I guess I'll be going to Starbase 212 for reassignment. You know, I had a talk with Chief Pendleton in communications. There's an opening for a level 2. Really? I'm on the waiting list so long I'll be gray before I get there. I could put in a good word. It's a appealing offer, but I think I'd rather get there on my own merits. Don't be surprised if you see my name on that list. And that's the end of Aquiel. Please tune in next week for Face of the Enemy. Go back and watch the Chain of Command. And, all right, so Fistful of Datas and Rascals is garbled. But there are 5 other seasons of non-garbled you can go check out. Make sure you check out the If Then this afternoon. Worked really hard on these. And don't forget Flashback Monday. Have a good one.